Alright, so for the past year, the Pixel 4a has proved to be one of the best mid-range Android devices that we've had so far, and it builds up on Google's success with the Pixel 3a back in 2019. Now, the Pixel 4a comes with some impressive specs that I believe would suit most people looking for a perfectly capable Android phone. So for today, let's talk about this device and why it's been one of my most favorite smartphones so far. Hey, what is going on YouTube? Mike here from Team VRY, and this is the Pixel 4a. Okay, so first off, let's talk about the camera. The image processing software that Google has built into this phone can make you forget that you're using a mid-range device. Now, the hardware might look unimpressive because of the single 12 megapixel lens, but do not let this fool you. The Pixel 4a manages to get some great pictures, and compared to a lot of mid-range devices out there with larger megapixel counts, it's amazing that the Pixel 4a can do so much with so little. Of course, it's not to say that every single shot is perfect. Camera software can only get you so far, and sometimes I do wish that there was an ultra-wide or telephoto lens on this thing. Now, on the other hand, there is a rich array of features that I think make up for the camera limitations. Special camera modes like the night sight feature, astrophotography, and my personal favorite portrait mode are definitely great additions to the Pixel's secret weapon. Unfortunately, video on the Pixel 4a will draw mixed reactions. Personally, I'm pretty impressed by the image stabilization on the Pixel 4a camera, and special video modes like cinematic pan, slow motion, and time-lapse, as well as 4K video are enough to satisfy my needs, although users looking for a more customizable video experience may prefer something else. Overall though, camera performance is terrific considering that you get a somewhat basic hardware setup, and I am definitely a big fan of how Google has equipped this device to become one of the best camera phones on the market right now. Alright, so let's move on to performance. The Pixel 4a comes with a Qualcomm Snapdragon 730G SoC, which is something that we usually get on mid-range devices. This comes with 6 gigs of RAM, and I gotta say that overall performance is impressive. As someone who spent time with budget and high-end smartphones, the Pixel 4a does a great job of giving you an experience similar to that on more expensive devices. General tasks like navigating through the user interface, loading up your apps, and going through web pages are smooth and fast enough, and for a moderate user like me, it's a pretty efficient experience. Also, playing games is a blast on this device. The internal hardware does its best to give you a proper gaming experience, even on some graphically intensive games. And while you don't get all the fancy bells and whistles of devices like the ROG phone, gaming on the Pixel 4a is generally enjoyable and I'm having a lot of fun with it. Alright, so let's talk about software optimization on the Pixel 4a. The thing with Android is that over the years, countless manufacturers and companies have each developed their own take on the OS, putting in countless features, modifications, and sometimes just downright bloatware. However, Google has made sure that Pixel owners only get the best that Android has to offer without the extra weight. As a result, you get a fully optimized software experience as intended by Google. There's a full suite of pre-installed Google apps and some exclusive software features that make the experience a bit more special compared to most Android phones out there. Constant security and software updates are always present, and in my experience have only improved my usage with this device. For example, new features like the cinematic pan mode on the Pixel 4a's camera, which weren't there when I first got the phone, have added variety to how I use my smartphone. And it is these kinds of updates that I'm sure a lot of people look for in their devices. As with most Android phones, battery endurance is one major consideration when getting a smartphone. Now, the Pixel 4a does come with a 3100 mAh battery, which is pretty common on a lot of smartphones. I've gotten some pretty great endurance and screen time with the Pixel 4a, especially when using the phone for general tasks, with around 7 to 8 hours of screen time. Of course, heavier apps and games will take their toll on the battery, but of course that's to be expected. But because of Google's optimized software, the Pixel 4a's battery performance is overall impressive. Google also gives you some additional features like the extreme battery saver, adaptive battery, and adaptive charging, making sure that you have all the help you need to get your device through a busy day. Of course, each device has its own drawbacks. For example, I wish that the Pixel 4a featured a microSD card slot, as it's something that I've gotten used to on most of my devices. Also, having 5G would have been a great feature, but if you want the 5G experience, you'll have to spend a bit more to get the Pixel 4a 5G, which does come with a larger display, additional cameras, and a faster chipset. To sum things up, I do believe that the Pixel 4a delivers on performance. It's been a reliable device for me, and if you ask me how I feel about this phone, I'd have to steal a popular phrase and say that it just works. There's a lot more things that make it a standout mid-range device, but I feel that the key points that we talked about in this video are what strengthen the Pixel 4a's appeal. Guys, if you want to see more videos, check out Team VRY here on YouTube, and once again, thanks for watching.